What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 32 of the Stand Up Guys podcast. I'm your host, incomparable Zach Jones, joined as always by the yakko to my wacko, Lester Jones. And rounding out the panel, we of course got the Ninth Wonder, Chocolate Thunder, eating pussy by the mile like it's going out of style, the clam slurping, tuna burping, no matter how tired, no matter how hurt, forget about water, he only drinks squirt, the phenomenal A.J. Singh.
Hello, everyone.
All right, you guys got any good stories from the week?
I've been watching WandaVision, just catching up on that. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I might be behind one episode. I'm not sure.
Yeah, on next week's show, we can do a little review / retrospective on that show because it'll be all done.
But you fired up on doing some DoorDash this week, didn't you?
Yeah.
So how's that going?
Good. It's surprisingly, you can do all right on DoorDash.
Decent?
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. I've been enjoying it, just listening to podcasts, driving around town, seeing...
Because pretty much you don't have to deal with anybody. Maybe a few minutes every, half hour or something, you drop something off.
Yeah, you just go to the restaurant, pick up food. It's I'm used to that. I do that for myself all the time.
I mean, that's pretty laid back in the sense that, you don't have anyone breathing down your neck, really. You're just doing whatever.
Yeah, and the best part is that there's no interactions with people. So you just drop off the food, you leave, nobody says anything to anybody. It's all great.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering how that going. You were kind of quiet today. I was like, maybe he got, DoorDash raped or something.
No. I'm enjoying it a lot, actually. Yeah.
That's what I love about this job I have now, even though it's ending shortly, is I don't have to deal with people. I just, work from home, listen to podcasts all day. It's real chill. It's a nice gig.
Yeah. That's what you said. It was boring, but you just chill out, listen to podcasts, get in the zone.
Yeah. That's the way to go. What about you? Any good stories from the week or anything? Any work stories?
It does vaguely seem like there was... Oh, one of the guys I work with, he got... punched a few times for waking up a homeless dude.
Oh, the homeless guy beat him up?
Yeah, apparently he kicked his foot to wake him up. He's like, hey, you got to move on or something. And the guy got up and started taking it out on him a little bit.
Oh.
But he was okay this Monday. It happened Friday, so.
Yeah, I wish I had, a more interesting life. Pretty similar to the week before. I just, I put in a couple more hours on Final Fantasy VII. And man, I got to say, I'm amazed. I don't know if I played that game as a kid, I would have never made it through it because, there's so many spots where I got hung up and I'm like, I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. So many spots that I looked it up on YouTube and was like, oh yeah, I would have never thought of that. It's just the way it is designed. Sometimes you don't know where the fuck you're supposed to go. It gets confusing. So yeah, thank God for YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, I was like that with Prince of Persia, and I've played other games too that have been like that, but where you get stuck on a certain level for hours and you're just like, what am I supposed to do with these mirrors? They're supposed to face in this direction and do this. And
man, that's one of my favorite games though, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time.
Yeah.
That's a great game. They're actually doing a remaster of it this year. I don't know if it'll be any good, but I'm kind of interested to play it again. I haven't played it since the PS2 era, and it was definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, really good game.
Yeah. And then I finished Killing Eve season 3.
Didn't you kill that bitch yet?
Not yet. Not yet. The thing about that show is it's a decent show, but it is one of those shows where you go oh yeah, law enforcement would never do the things they're doing. That bitch would just be in the jail cell rotting away. But yeah, it's an all right show. I'll continue to watch it when it picks back up again. All right, should we get this stupid show on the way? AJ, as tradition dictates, we'll start with you.
All right, first one's kind of a bummer. Couple lose 182 million pound Euro Millions jackpot after ticket payment didn't go through. A couple claimed they missed out on 180 million pounds when their numbers were drawn, but their ticket payment didn't go through. Rachel Kennedy, 19, and Liam McCrohan, 21, have been absolutely heartbroken when they realized their usual numbers, 6, 12, 22, 29, 33, 6, and 11, had come up. They had planned the same numbers for 5 weeks in a row before all 7 digits appeared on Friday night's draw. Rachel explained she had set up her account to automatically buy a Euro Millions ticket for each draw, but when payment for Friday's ticket was attempted, the lottery account did not have enough funds. Checking her account after Friday's draw, she was greeted with a message saying her numbers had a winning match. However, her heart sank when she realized the glitch, reports The Sun. Rachel, a business student at Brighton University, said, I called my boyfriend Liam and my mom into the room, and they couldn't believe it either. And they were like, oh my God, I need to call them. I called the number thinking that I had won $182 million. And they had said, yeah, you've got the right numbers, but you don't have the funds in your account for the payment of the ticket, so you didn't actually go through. I was on top of the world when I thought I had won, but when I found out I hadn't, Liam was actually more upset than me. Rachel said that they were absolutely heartbroken and now thinks of their usual weekly numbers as unlucky and has decided to change them. Yeah, I'd change them too. You're not going to get them.
I mean, I would never play again.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't play anyway, but if I was them, I would just be like, no, never playing the lottery again.
And this comes days after an unlucky British teenager just missed out on an enormous £178 million jackpot with every one of her numbers just one out. So wouldn't every one of her numbers just won out? She could not believe her luck when she checked her lucky dip ticket for last Friday's mega draw. The marketing apprentice's number were either too big or too small for the winning sequence, including the lucky stars. She could have been getting ready to... Oh, so she was one number off. That's what it was. Okay. But, I mean, it's one thing to be off, but it's one thing to have the numbers and, it not go through.
Yeah, so you're like... Well, I mean, buying lottery tickets when you're broke is not the best plan, but, like, when you don't have, like, the $5 in your account that would have bought that ticket, that's pretty bad.
That sucks, man. Oh, that is so painful. That hurts to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It's just like,
that would be
bad.
Just heartbreaking and awful. It's just, yeah.
I mean, they handled it well, though. The fact that I even did this interview, I'd be like, they quoted me as going,
He had a note in his pocket while he's hanging from the bridge.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my story.
All right. Should we go manifesto round one?
All right. Should we keep it dark or should we lighten it up before we go dark?
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. Mine's really dark, so go with the light one first.
You just don't want me to steal your story. This isn't light. This is actually pretty sad, but it's also kind of funny. So a Baltimore high school student passes 3 classes in 4 years. His class rank 62 out of 120.
What?
So that means over half the other kids were worse than he was.
How does this school even have funding if it's that bad?
Oh man, I guess that's public schools. I don't know.
I mean, we went to public school. It was nothing like that.
It wasn't that bad, yeah.
But also I have 120.
I figured that he'd at least give some fake season stuff.
You'd think those kids they would send to one of those, like, schools, where they just let them coast by. Yeah. We have one of those in our hometown, and, like, everyone.
Oh, yeah, there was, like, that class.
Yeah.
My sister actually dated a guy who was proud. He's like, that was the easiest class ever. Jesus Christ, buddy. But, yeah, so there's, like, a little bit of controversy because he did, like, 4 years of high school. But, like, he'd take, like, Spanish 1 in 9th grade, and then, like, they put him in Spanish 2 the next year. And so his mom was like, okay, he's not doing that good, but they're moving him forward. Like, he's still progressing through the stages or whatever. And so then they're like, well, he's not going to finish this year. He's got to go back to 9th grade.
Oh.
And
yeah, so it was this big controversy.
But yeah, I mean, wouldn't you have to pass a lot more than 3 classes to even pass?
Well, that's the thing is
grade?
like how are they so oblivious and like how are they doing this to this many students?
I mean, how are there only 120 students in his class though? Is it a small school or something? Like really small?
I mean, I guess it couldn't be huge. You'd figure that's like a 500 class high school, 500 student high school. Which I think maybe ours was in that range. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a high school.
Ours might have been less than that, actually. I don't know.
It easily could have been. I'm sure it is now, but... But, yeah, I mean, just all of that. And his mom thought, like, even though he wasn't doing great, like, he was passing through and stuff. But
Man, he was halfway through as like the middle point of students.
Yeah, like he was ranked 62 out of 120. So you know that school is awful.
Well, you know what always amazes me is you always hear these stories of people who graduate never knowing how to read, like they're illiterate.
Yeah, they finish and they can't read.
And I'm like, I don't understand that because like the school we went to, like there's no way I could have gone through it if I was illiterate.
I can't imagine.
It wouldn't have happened. Like the degree of difficulty, you know, you would have never done it. So I'm like, I don't get how it happens and happens frequently.
You'd have to be like a master cheater.
Yeah, you would.
I mean, you got to give that person credit for working around reading, like the hard work it takes.
A master not reading.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to get most of your grade, I guess, from the homework because, like, if you take a test and you can't read, like, I don't know how
you have to cheat on your tests. You have to get other kids to do your homework.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. I don't know how.
I mean, I guess, like, if a lot of your classes, 60-70% of your grade is homework, and you're just having other kids do your homework, and then it doesn't matter if you fuck up your tests.
Yeah, some classes are like that, especially in high school.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something is desperately wrong.
It seems pretty crazy. Where was that school at?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah, man, Baltimore, you need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I got a story here, man, and this is a grim story, but it had kind of a weird twist to it, so I figured I'd go through it. So you kind of like real crime stories, right? Like,
I think I know this one.
So triple murderer cooks woman's heart to feed it to his family.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. A 42-year-old Oklahoma man is under arrest suspected of committing 3 murders. During the investigation, authorities have revealed gruesome details of the murders, including attempted cannibalism. Lawrence Anderson from Chickasha, Oklahoma, stands accused of killing 3 people. The victims include his uncle Leon Pye, 67, his granddaughter Chaos Yates, 4, and Anderson's neighbor Andrea Blankenship, 41. He also maimed Pyle's wife, Delcy. No charges have been brought yet against Anderson due to the office closing related to severe weather. Nonetheless, Anderson is being held in Grady County Jail. The OSBI says that Anderson broke down during his arrest and confessed to the murders. In his confession, he detailed how he murdered 3 people, stopping only to cook a human heart. The horror show began on February 9th. At that time, according to OSBI investigation, Anderson was staying at his uncle's house. On that day, the police received a 911 call from the Pye residence, but the caller suddenly hung up. Officers rushed to the house and knocked on the door, receiving no answer. But while nobody came to the door, they could clearly hear pleas for help from the inside. Left with no other choice, the cops knocked down the door. Inside the house, they came face to face with a blood-curdling scene. Leon and Chaos lay dead with stab wounds. Delcy was seriously injured, also due to a knife attack. And then there was Lawrence with an injured right hand throwing up in the living room. Leon and Chaos were pronounced dead at the scene, while the other 2 were rushed to a hospital. Delcy remains hospitalized, but the Oklahoman reported that her condition is non-threatening. While at the hospital, Anderson was placed under arrest under suspicion of carrying out the killings and maiming. Under custody, it seems Anderson's conscience finally caught up with him, and he confessed to killing 1 more person. Anderson told the investigators that before attacking the Pyes and their granddaughter, he went to the neighbor Blankenship's house. Once there, he forced his way in by knocking the back door down with his shoulder. Inside the house, Anderson was greeted by Blankenship and her 2 German shepherds. The police didn't say what happened to the dogs, but considering what Anderson did to Blankenship, it can't have been anything good. Anderson killed Blankenship with a knife. Once she was dead, he proceeded to cut out her heart and took it back to the Pye residence. There, he cooked Blankenship's heart, but that wasn't gourmet enough. In true Hannibal Lecter fashion, Anderson also whipped up a side dish of potatoes. He tried to make Delcy and Leon Pye eat the heart before he attacked them, an OSBI agent said. Anderson said that consuming the heart would release the demons, the agent added. The murders have sparked outrage in Oklahoma, and not only because of the depraved nature. Anderson has behind him a long criminal history and was in fact just released from prison in January. He went to prison for the first time in 2006 for possessing crack cocaine and threatening his then girlfriend with a gun. He got out in less than 2 years. In 2012, Anderson was sentenced again for 15 years imprisonment for dealing crack near an elementary school. This time he ended up serving a bit over 5 years of his sentence. After less than 5 months as a free man, Anderson went back behind bars after confronting a woman at a church parking lot. He was in possession of a firearm, which he wasn't allowed to have due to his earlier felonies. It goes on a little bit, but I mean that's the gist of the story. Is so he killed his uncle, like their young granddaughter, knifed the wife, and apparently before that had killed the neighbor and cooked her heart, trying to make his uncle and aunt eat the neighbor's heart. So this is a really fucking weird story.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely psychotic, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to break into the house with 2 German Shepherds, man.
Yeah.
And he's lucky because, a lot of German Shepherds would have just torn him apart, but apparently they were, well-natured. Now, they made it sound like he killed the dogs, which he might have, but, some dogs, just aren't really protective like other dogs are. They might have just, like...
They could have been locked in another room, too.
Yeah, or something like that. So it's hard to tell on that front, but yeah, this guy's definitely got a fucking screw loose.
Yeah, he's trying to feed the heart to other people, like, trying to force them to eat it. That's the next level.
Yeah, to his family.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Then he attacked them, so it's like, did he get mad because they didn't eat it or something? Or
well, he was trying to feed it to him and said something about, like, he was going to release the demons.
Yeah.
But it also makes me wonder if, like, they knew it was a human heart or if he was, like, just trying to pass it off as a regular beat.
I mean, I assume he came off as being pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you know what this reminds me of, though, that we've never talked about? This is old news at this point. It happened a couple months ago. But did you guys hear about, like, that the actor Armie Hammer? And, like, this woman released, like, some direct messages, or maybe they were texts that they had. Did you guys hear that story?
No.
Oh, man. You should look these up because it's wild. So, like, he apparently has this, like, cannibal fantasy. And so, like, these tweets, he's, like, talking about how he wants to, like, rip her heart out and eat it. And, like, I think at one point he says he wants to, like, draw her blood and like use it as lube to fuck her in the ass. It's just like really weird shit. And so now there's like this controversy where like some people are saying like these were like so outrageous that he should basically be canceled and shouldn't be able to act again. And then other people were like, well, if it's total fantasy and he's not actually hurting people, then it's kink shaming. And so, but man, yeah, there was like definitely some wild shit in these messages.
Dang, that is
what's his name?
Armie Hammer.
How's he famous?
An actor.
Yeah, he played the Lone Ranger in that shitty Lone Ranger movie. He played
Social Network.
Social Network. He played like the Winklevoss twins.
Okay.
He's been in different shit and like he is like a tall, like handsome actor-y dude. But yeah, these messages he had are pretty wild. Do you know about that kink shaming? Like I generally agree, but do you guys think there's some kinks that are okay to shame? I mean, besides like obviously like things that involve children, which are but
I mean, like I've listened to a lot of like serial killer crap, and a lot of them have like obsessive fantasies about weird ass shit. Like Dahmer, like even before he killed anybody, he fantasizes about like being with dead people and fucking shit like that. So like you can develop psychosis that you haven't acted on yet, but some of that weird shit is like it's just like it's bubbling. Like you don't.
So
know
maybe not shame it, but take it as a warning sign.
Yeah, definitely.
You might want to keep an eye on Armie.
Yeah, you might not. You might not want to stay with that guy. You know, it's definitely a red flag.
I mean, like those guys that get caught, like the shit fetish guys that like get caught in like hiding in outhouses, like so people will shit on them. Like,
yeah, it's disgusting and it's a violation of the other person.
Yeah,
but, yeah. Maybe it's not the same as like violence, but it's still definitely not right.
Do you ever wonder if like any of those people that have like the shit fantasies, like like I just imagine most of them had some sort of like fucked up traumatic childhood. But like, do you think anyone who has just like a normal childhood develops that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, it's possible. Who knows where that comes from, you know?
It'd be interesting to find out if there's like a commonality between those people that have that fetish. If like, you know,
Like their babysitter sat on their head and farted.
yeah, something like, and they're like, "Hey, that ain't half bad."
And now I can't get it as an adult.
But yeah, this story, man, just crazy. All right, AJ, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Let's see what I have here. All right. Man's attempt to flirt backfires as he accidentally adds 60 women to group chat. A blundering Casanova accidentally set up a group chat with 60 women after he tried to send them all shirtless selfies at the same time. In a bid at being efficient by sending the selfie in mass, the man accidentally created a group chat which alerted the members that he was sending it to multiple women. One of the members, called Elena, shared the fallout as the group's members realized Isaac had been chatting them up all simultaneously. The red-faced singleton posted an apology to the girl, saying he was reevaluating his life choices.
He went the wrong direction. I'm going to say this. Like, you've made the mistake. Now it's time to go all in.
Yeah. Ladies.
Listen, I know it's not every day like you do a 60 on one, but I'm really trying to put something together here, something special. Like, you can't apologize because then they're all going to hate you. But if you really push it, you know, some of them are going to be like, he's got his nuts on him.
I mean, yeah, that would seem like if he acted like he did it on purpose, he would have seemed like a ballsy dude.
Yeah. At that point, there's no backing out. You might as well just push your chips in and see what happens.
He was trying that Seinfeld bit with the menage.
I mean, you're smart. I've thought about that. Like, what if you just set up like an auto? It's like a bot. Flirting bot or something.
Oh yeah, we should make a flirting bot.
Flirt bot.
And then you just see if anyone
then it
picks
meets
up.
Armie Hammer.
Yeah, probably.
Saying the weirdest.
Hey, baby, you want to kill all humans?
Talking about devouring some flesh?
She said yes.
You have one flirt.
Let me see. Luckily, the girls didn't seem too upset with Elena saying that they had become best friends after learning more about each other. She shared the messages in a video on TikTok saying, "Added to a group chat with 60 random girls by the guy I used to talk to." The exchange opened with a photo of Isaac's abs and a slew of messages as the women quickly realized what has happened. One member says, "Ha ha ha ha," while another comments, "Well, that's awkward," and the group quickly begins sharing stories. One girl revealed he matched with my roommate and then matched with me, and he was talking to both of us. Another said, "We have the yellow heart on Snap and have been hanging out. Ha ha, dodged a bullet, I guess. You guys are cooler anyway." Isaac himself joined in and even invited the group to a party to roast him later on. He wrote, "Dear everyone, I am so sorry for my actions. I went upstairs to hit a late-night workout and had a terrible idea to create a private story to post douchey Snapchats to. As you know, I created a group instead. This is truly humbling. I am sorry for those who I've hurt in the process."
So he must be like a decent-looking dude if he's got like 60 matches.
Yeah, he must be,
He's just like, I need to streamline this shit.
Yeah.
Well, he's got abs apparently.
Got some abs. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely should have just went all in. Fuck it.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right, manifesto round 2.
Man, this is feeling a little paltry here.
We should have brought those
now
cards
that Trump
out.
hasn't been what was he impeached? How do you feel about him running in 2024? Because he's saying he might.
Yeah. Well, there's I don't know what it's called, but, there's another thing they could have gone for instead of impeachment that they maybe still couldn't have done, but they would have had a better chance of it working, and it also would have made it so he couldn't run again, but they didn't go that route. I mean, the shitty thing is he could still totally win. I think.
I mean, I don't know about the next one, but like the one after that.
I mean,
Maybe.
I think even the next one.
Yeah, I think the next one he could be. Yeah.
I mean, Biden. I don't know if he's not well loved, but he's got a decent approval rating right now. I think he'll probably be hard to beat next time around.
But I mean, a lot of people speculated that the only reason Biden won this time was because of what was going on with COVID. I mean, it's hard to
I don't
tell.
know if that matters, but at the same time, it's like, can Trump officially win 3 elections?
No, how old is he though? He's like 77.
He's in his 70s, yeah.
So, I mean, next 4 years he's got to make it that long, and not a lot of people get to 81.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd really see him come along. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ivanka someday.
Mm-hmm. I definitely don't think Trump's ever going to do time, but he is going to have a lot of, I think, legal battles that he's going to be fighting over the next several years that you would think would, maybe preoccupy his time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I'm sure he'll be off doing something else crazy.
I don't know. Being president probably helps you get out of trouble with those legal battles, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's really probably if you were ever indicted of anything, you were going to get pardoned anyway. But still.
But, they did, I guess this is generated from that CPAC convention or whatever, and they did a straw poll there of who would you vote for in the next, Republican primary or whatever.
Like the Republicans need to pull their shit together.
And Trump got 54%, and then all the other ones, and then that I think Ron DeSantis or whatever got 12%, and then everyone else piddly amounts, Cruz got 2%, and it's so the Republican Party is still behind him in a big bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely need to get someone even in that election he won. There was just no competition. Nobody put up a decent fight against him.
The thing is, though, do you think the Republican Party would ever go back to a Mitt Romney type of Republican? It doesn't seem to be what that base wants anymore.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's still a big argument for game theory, pulling towards the middle. So I wouldn't be surprised at all.
But I mean, who's going to be the Trumpian candidate if he doesn't run? Because if people are used to a Trump amount of crazy, I mean, it seems like I'm not real familiar with Ron DeSantis.
I mean, if he hasn't died, I would definitely wouldn't put it past him. I don't know.
Oh, Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all, and it wouldn't surprise me if he won.
So I guess we'll see what it's looking like in 4 years. But yeah,
see, Jim Jordan, those kinds of guys,
yeah, those kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
He might have been one of those on that straw poll too. I don't remember. But yeah, I know Ted Cruz didn't do well. He only got 2%.
And Ted Cruz has been kissing
nobody
Trump's
likes
ass
Ted
hard.
Cruz, man.
No, even the people that work with him say he sucks.
Yeah.
I did hear a good quote about him, but I don't remember now.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I heard that
Somebody
same
was
quote.
Even if I agreed with everything Ted Cruz said, I would still 99% hate his guns. That's paraphrasing.
Yeah, everyone thinks he's a turd. Was that it for that one?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, this one's also kind of like a depressing story, but gunman shoots dog walker, steals Lady Gaga's dog.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you keep stealing my stories.
Oh. For dog owners, a missing or runaway pet is an absolute nightmare. There's an uncertainty of not knowing where you... I hate when people editorialize these things too much. Okay. In a straight-from-daytime TV news story, multiple assailants approached Lady Gaga's dog walker just before 10 p.m. Wednesday and shot him 4 times before stealing 2 of the dogs while a third ran away. Ryan Fisher, Lady Gaga's friend and dog walker, is expected to make a full recovery despite sustaining critical injuries. Yeah, that's kind of amazing, too. He got shot 4 times, and he's expected to recover. The runaway dog, Miss Asia, was recovered by the LAPD last night. Lady Gaga is in Italy, but issued a statement through her rep offering $500,000 reward for the dog's return. No questions asked. All of Lady Gaga's dogs are French bulldogs. She received Miss Asia as a gift from her then-fiancé, Taylor Kinney. A year later, she got Koji from the same breeder and added Gustav to her pack most recently. It was Koji and Gustav that the gunman snatched. French bulldogs are frequent dog napping victims since they fetch a high price on the doggy black market. The average Frenchie pup can set you back between $1,000 to $3,000 with reputable breeders of blue and merle varieties, getting upwards of $5,000 for a puppy. The litter sizes are small and the dogs are hugely popular in the States. It's unknown if the gunman knew that they were stealing Lady Gaga's dogs or if they simply saw the dog walker and saw an opportunity to make some fast money. It's hard to believe that your average dog napper both carries a gun and will shoot someone 4 times to make off with a few pups. One of the pop star's neighbors took a video of the incident but refrained from stepping in to help. In it, 2 people confront Fisher as he's walking the dogs getting out of the back seat of the car. They tell Fisher to give it up, and Fisher calls out for help before the shots are fired and he falls to the ground. The assailants grab the dogs and get back into the car, which drives away. Maybe then the neighbors stop to help. $500,000 is no small reward, which might be why the shooters took the dogs. Lady Gaga's dad made a public statement to also plea for the animal's safe return, saying, shooting someone in order to steal dogs is wrong. I mean, obviously. He also asked for help to help us catch these creeps. Yeah, it's just, it is pretty crazy. I didn't even hear that. Like, I on Twitter, I just seen somebody randomly retweet Danny Trejo, like the guy that plays that Machete, and he's like, "Don't worry, Lady Gaga, we got guys out looking for those dogs or something." But I just thought, oh, she must have had some dogs that ran away or something, you know.
Right.
And then I read this story, and I'm like, is Danny Trejo like sending guys out to kill this guy?
I know.
Danny Trejo. The thing is, like, if you're offering $500,000, you're just saying, like, I wouldn't want to be the next dog walker because you just said, oh, here's your incentive to like roll up on my dog walker and shoot the fuck out of him.
Yeah, if I am a dog walker, I'm like, I'm only walking the shittiest dogs from now on.
Yeah.
It'd be like you're worth less than like 10,000, right? I don't want any incidences. Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm walking Lady Gaga's dog.
I mean,
she's paying me $20 an hour.
Well, she gave like a $500,000 reward for her dogs. I hope she gave the dog walker something for getting shot 4 times.
I mean, I'm guessing she paid his medical bills and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
That's the other thing, though, is like, I don't care how expensive the dogs are. Like, if they pull a gun on me, I'm going to be like, take them.
Yep. Hope he makes a good stew.
Well, I mean, you don't expect it to go straight to guns. Like maybe they hadn't had the guns out or something.
He's
You're like,
help.
no, I'm not going to use the dogs.
This ain't going down.
You're like, take the dogs. Like, all right, I'm calling Machete.
I'm definitely like calming this down. Be like, yep, you can take him.
Somebody turned in the dogs later. Like,
the third one that ran away, they found.
Oh.
Right?
But the 2 dogs, some lady turned them in.
Oh, they did get turned in.
Yeah, but they don't know how the lady got the dogs or what. Maybe it's the Danny Trejo threat.
Maybe they're scared of the Trejo.
Yeah.
I'm not calling a dog either Gustav or Miss Asia.
Yeah.
Come here, Miss Asia.
Gustav's pretty good.
Gustav?
AJ, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Chinese iron crotch kung fu masters fight to preserve a painful-looking tradition. Wang Lutai, I'm going to say Lutai, that's how I'm going to go with it, is no ordinary kung fu master. The 65-year-old from a village in central China practices a unique and excruciating-looking strand of martial arts coined iron crotch kung fu. Its most famous technique involves a steel plate cap log, 2 meters in length and weighing 40 kilograms, that swings through the air and smashes into a man's crotch. When you practice iron crotch kung fu, as long as you push yourself, you will feel great, said Wong. Wong, who has been practicing the technique for around half a century and has 2 children, insists that...
I hope he had his children first. Yeah. It's like, why don't we have any descendants practicing this magic art?
We can't preserve it for some reason. He insists that with the correct methods and sufficient practice, it does not hurt or has no effect on fertility. The iron crotch mastery of which is gained by taking hits to the body's weakest points while using Qigong breathing techniques to inure oneself.
That's how you learn to suck your balls up into your stomach.
Is just one element of the branch of Tongbikin Kung Fu that has been practiced in Wong's village for the past 300 years. I might be butchering these words, by the way. The style encompasses scores of attack techniques as well as resisting pressure, pain, or hits to other sensitive areas. We also have iron throat, iron head, iron chest, and iron back as well, said fellow master, 53-year-old Tong Xiaocheng. The style of kung fu practiced by those in Juntan village on the outskirts of the ancient capital of Luoyang was historically a fiercely guarded secret, but concern has grown that fewer and fewer people are taking it up and it might not survive. There were once around 200 people regularly practicing in the village, said Tong, but now there are fewer than 20. The number that can practice the iron crotch technique has dropped to around 80 to just 5.
Ringing the bells every morning.
That's why Wong and his fellow masters started to actively promote their style of kung fu, adopting the swinging log device in 2016 to demonstrate the iron crotch technique, where previously villagers had kicked, punched, or used bricks or sticks. I don't think the technique is the problem here. I don't think showing people how to destroy your crotch with a new thing is what you needed. Their efforts have helped them gain several new students in cities across the country who learn using social media or custom-made videos posted online. If there are more students to carry it forward and spread it throughout the whole country and the world, if they can carry this form of kung fu forward, then my dream will come true, said Wong.
You need to sell this. You need to package it. You need to your balls are going to grow by 50%.
It's going to go from iron crotch to Mercury crotch. God, it sounds...
Yeah. I mean...
I did know about this though because I was watching a Tom Segura Your Mom's House episode. This was maybe a couple months back, and they had this compilation of videos of these guys that do this, and the one that sticks out in my mind is these guys had kind of like a log suspended with like 4 ropes that would swing back and forth. It almost looks like something that would ring a giant gong or something. But the guy would just stand there and he'd just send this thing right into his balls over and over again. And it was such a funny visual. I was like, these guys are fucking crazy.
Everybody was like, ah! He just gets back up and does it again.
Man, 300 years of this being in practice. I don't know. I'm surprised it's lasted that long.
Yeah.
I want to see a kung fu movie where people use this technique. We're the Iron Crotch Guild.
We can't do anything, but we can get kicked in the crotch really hard.
They can take a punch.
And then at the end we see the Jackie Chan outtakes where guys are just oh, my balls.
Gonna need a jock.
Man, also I think Tom Segura just last week, this isn't a ball related one, but it made me laugh, is I have no idea what country this is in, but these guys were packing this woman almost like a sultan, like princess slave thing where where guys will hoist up a platform on their arms and the woman will sit in a chair on top of the platform.
Right.
Anyway, they're backing her down these set of stairs, and it's too steep, so it just tips a little too much, and she falls out. Oh. And it's hilarious.
Somebody got fired that day out of a cannery.
Probably. Oh, man. All right. Back to the manifesto round 3.
I don't have a ton left. Like, we've been following Navalny a little bit in Russia. And so, like, he went back to Russia, knew he'd get arrested. And he got arrested. So apparently he's been sent to, like, the worst, like, penal colony or whatever, wherever they call it. But, yeah, apparently well known for psychological torture. But, yeah, see how that goes.
See if he makes it out of that.
Well, he's been sentenced, I think, to 2 years. So, yeah, we'll see.
Man,
but apparently, I guess, like, Biden put sanctions on, like, some of the officials that were, I think, tied to the poisoning. So, I mean, I guess it's a slap on the wrist or something, but...
Yeah. Man. Oh, silly old Russia.
Those Russians. All
right. Woman belonging to alien reptile cult to stay in jail for shooting boyfriend. Insane conspiracy theories are usually nothing more than slightly chuckle-worthy light news, but for every funny story, there's one case where an unhinged person brainwashed into outlandish beliefs does some irreversible damage. Case in point, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled on February 25th that a woman sentenced to 15 to 40 years in jail for the murder of her boyfriend should stay behind bars. The reason for why she shot him are truly bizarre. Barbara Rogers, 46, was sent to prison in 2019 after she put a bullet through the head of 32-year-old Stephen Minio. That was because Rogers had been accused of being a reptilian alien creature in disguise. Both Rogers and her boyfriend were members of a deranged online doomsday cult. They were convinced that an extraterrestrial race of devil-worshipping reptilian shapeshifters were looking to install Antichrist himself as the supreme ruler of Earth. There's one sentence this author never expected to type out, yet here we are. The crime itself took place on July 15th, 2017. On that day, Rogers, an Army veteran discharged for medical reasons, and Minio were both staying at their shared apartments in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Over the course of the day, the odd couple got into an argument. According to senior judge John L. Musmano, their affiliation with the Doomsday had been causing friction in their relationship for quite some time. Rogers stated that she and Minio had recently become upset with the leader of the cult, who believed that Rogers was actually a reptile, Musmano wrote in a court opinion. As a result of the disagreements, the two were kicked out of the cult. Minio, in particular, didn't take the ouster very well. Rogers said that her boyfriend had simply lost his will to live with his cult membership, so he asked Rogers to kill him. The story goes that Minio placed a .45 caliber pistol. He pressed the gun against his head and told Rogers to pull the trigger. As she did, some 20 minutes after the deed was done, Rogers phoned 911. Her boyfriend had a gun. He told me to hold it here and press the trigger. Oh my God, he's dead, she said during the call. Whether Rogers' story is true, however, is up for debate. After all, the only other person with knowledge of what actually happened took his story to the grave. Judge Musmano, for one, is not convinced of the accuracy of Rogers' account, and no wonder. According to TNR, Rogers has changed her story several times. Evidence was presented at trial that showed Rogers and Minio had a tumultuous relationship in the weeks leading up to the shooting. The alien cult that Rogers and Schreiner belonged to was led by one Sherry Schreiner. Some 2 months before the killing, Schreiner started attacking Rogers online. She insisted that Rogers was in actuality one of the group's enemies, a reptilian alien devoted to furthering the cause of Satan. Because of her affiliations, Minio should call off their relationship, Schreiner claimed. Schreiner had immense control over the majority of her devotees, including Minio, the Pennsylvania court said. It goes on a little bit, but what's the deal with all these, like, and this is some QAnon believers believe this too, about, like, a secret race of reptilian creatures.
Yeah, why reptilian?
It's like a common thing, like cult belief. And I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? And how do people buy into it?
Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah, the fact that they got more than one person to buy into this is amazing. Like, this was a cult. So first of all, there were these two people, the leader, and then some other people, which is amazing to me.
I mean, I've been thinking about cults a little bit, and really, I think you can get people to believe anything.
Apparently.
I mean, if you think of the number of religious people in the world, or you think of Scientology or Mormons, or, like Scientology and Mormonism are interesting just because, like, the history of it. L. Ron Hubbard was like a shitty sci-fi writer. Just made up a bunch of shit. Fucking, who did the Mormons? What, his name?
Joseph Smith?
I do want to say, Joseph Smith. That sounds right. And, that he just, like, made up a bunch of shit.
Yeah. That's what they do? Yeah.
And, I mean, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, so...
Yeah, people are willing to believe... Like, we believe rumors, too, like...
Well, I've kind of wondered about that, and I think that, like, a big part of that is so much of what we know is secondhand. Like, so much of what we learn is from other people that we have to have a certain amount of trust in that. Like, that's been a big part of our, like, development as a person is, like, we have to get information from other people, and, like, from childhood, you have to be willing to accept some of it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You can't just deny everything. And when you're a kid, you don't even have the filters to possibly do that. And you hope that, like, as you get older, you get those in place. But yeah, I mean, if you're a kid, you can be indoctrinated into anything. I think, really.
Yeah, but it is surprising to see adults who.
But even like young people are very, I think, susceptible.
Yeah, they're more open-minded.
Yeah.
I recently listened to a podcast with Leah Remini from King of Queens because she famously was like a Scientologist,
right, she was a Scientologist
that got out of it. And I know she has like a show about it that she did for A&E that might be on Netflix. I never watched it, but she apparently like was in it from a time she was like very young, like almost a child, I think.
Okay.
And that's how she got into it. And like her and this other guy on the podcast, they were both in it and left. And like she was talking about how just like abusive it is. Like
they're notoriously vicious. Yeah.
Yeah. They say like if you leave, like they'll go after you. They'll destroy your reputation.
Yeah, it's not just like the Amish where they're like you're out. It's like they go for you.
Yeah. She said they're extremely vicious. They try to ruin your life basically, but she also said like when you're in it, like you have to constantly like report to these other people, and they'll be like, well, where'd you go online? Because like if you go or if you like, she said she would maybe sometimes say like, oh, so and so said something, and they're like, well, why would you have been there on that site anyway, and just like really monitoring what you do. And like it definitely, like I was like, damn, I didn't even know they do all that horse shit.
Yeah,
it's very culty and very abusive, and like Tom Cruise is like does play a huge like part in it. Like I do wonder like if Tom Cruise ever like if he ever had a revelation and was like, I'm leaving this bullshit, like if it could bring down that whole religion,
Well, I mean, there's it's the whole thing about like being in a tribe, and like apparently a lot of people in Hollywood were or are in Scientology, so it was like, it was like a career thing for some people. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think they probably heavily recruited actors went after him, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to see the Church of Scientology in Houston, and I thought it was just like...
There's a building here downtown.
Here too?
Yeah.
I used to be like, oh, those people must really believe in science or something,
Right. That's also a very interesting thing is like, it's Scientology is a very
it's misleading.
Psychological word, yeah.
Also in that same podcast, she says like the Church of Scientology owns like an insane amount of real estate.
Well, yeah, I
New
mean they're their religion. And it seems like there were some interesting stories about becoming a religion because apparently you have to go through like certain legal channels. And it seems like they like somehow put some pressure on like the CIA or something to get it passed through. But it's also interesting, like as a religion, they had a number of like members who infiltrated the government, like the CIA and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's an interesting.
She was like encouraging people to like contact IRS and try to remove their tax exempt status because she said that's a big thing too. I don't think any fucking religion should have tax exempt status.
Yeah, I agree.
Well.
but yeah, that was it for that topic. I'll send it over to AJ again.
All right, let's see what I have here. All right, crotch beatings. Okay.
Just do that story again.
So this is about a passenger on an airline who just did something really stupid.
Like that's how you get views. Like, how willing are you to take a log to the crotch for the show?
Not very.
Yeah, I might want to have kids. I don't know.
Just once.
I mean, I don't want to have kids, and I still don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Zach's the first one that should try.
But I mean, there's guys getting hit in the nuts like 50 billion times. Like these guys are just doing it,
Like maybe it's bad like
For
the first
funsies.
10 times, but like apparently at some point you get into it. So maybe we should just do it until it starts feeling good.
I don't think it starts ever feeling good.
That just
But they
becomes
do
your
their
thing.
special Lamaze breathing to get through it or whatever.
Every future woman you meet, you gotta treat me like a punching bag. You really gotta get in there.
It can take some abuse down there.
All right, here's one. Passenger.
Side note, have you guys ever seen any of this weird ass porn where like dudes get punched in the balls?
No.
I never watch it, but I know it exists. Again, Tom Segura, they play
I don't know
clips.
why or where I heard about it or how I stumbled on it, but it is like, it is disturbing.
Yeah, it's like one of those like dominatrix types.
Like some people
things.
are hinting. Oh yeah, well dominatrix will like kick dudes in the nuts and shit.
Yeah.
Like no.
Is that what you're talking about or something different?
No, I just seen somewhere like there's like abusive like punching and biting and shit. And it's just like, oh, this is awful.
Biting?
Biting, yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine.
There are people into biting. That's another fetish.
No, but like biting your nuts?
Yeah, like
Ooh.
nuts and dick and stuff.
That's
It's like,
that's next level.
yeah, like you can bite my arm or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
I mean, don't even do that.
Like, you don't have a lot of nerve endings at certain places, but like, yeah. Ugh. Oh, that was a fun side note.
I mean, would you rather get bit in the balls or kicked in the balls?
Kicked. Because a bite seems like it would.
Like, there's a lot of levels of intensity in biting.
Yeah.
Like a little nip, or are we talking about like
Crunch.
fucking eating grape nuts? You're really getting in there, cracking them.
What if the bite is just to the scrot, not really the balls?
Ugh. I mean,
It's
it's
better.
but it's still not nice. Better than getting kicked in the balls. I'd rather get a little,
Bite to the,
Scrote.
scrote biting.
even if it's going to puncture the skin.
Oh.
Puncturing the skin down, dude.
Oh, you just added a new thing to it.
Still, probably, I think I'd still rather have that than like getting kicked in the nuts.
What if
Depends
the
what
bite is
day.
from a really uggo?
And the kick is from someone good looking.
Yeah.
After the kick, does anything happen?
You're in pain?
Just the kick. No, like.
Is it as hard as they can kick?
No reach around?
I mean, if you see the video I saw on Tom Segura, they're kicking pretty damn hard.
I'm not interested, man. Like, you're going to damage something. Like, you don't want to take, like, blunt force to the balls. Like, you can get a couple, like, stitches in the scrot, and that's not going to affect anything. You know, it's not nice, but pancake nuts, nuh-uh.
The thing is like we've all been hit in the nuts before. Maybe not like a straight on kick, and it's like a kick to the ball.
He's got a nut story. Like I've been clipped, but not like serious.
But like, I feel like a kick to the nuts. Yeah, like you're gonna feel bad for like 30 minutes to an hour probably. But at least you wouldn't have to go to the doc and be like, hey, can you put a needle through my scrot and stitch up this puncture? That sounds worse to me if you actually have to get stitches.
Man. Not me.
Okay, I got to hear this nut story.
Oh, I think I told you guys the basketball one. Where I was playing basketball and this guy who looked like Scottie Pippen, he kicked his leg out as hard as he, he kicked it out. And
oh yeah, maybe I did.
It got me right in the junk, and I finished. I had no control.
So it's vicious pain and
it was
and shame.
It was the worst finish ever. Like that, you don't want that.
Now, is there any chance this was Scottie Pippen? Just to make the story
he's got some money. You can see
he had some strength to him.
This kid went on to be LeBron James.
And those shorts are for sale, everyone.
Somebody would buy them.
You got anything else for us?
One last one. A Japanese billionaire invites 8 people to join SpaceX mission on a trip around the moon. But he's taking applications, but he's looking for artistic people. So if you're an artist, you want to go around the moon, like maybe this is your shot.
Like they don't have to pay for it? He's just inviting them?
He's gonna pay for it.
Oh wow.
He's a billionaire, so.
I mean, I'm scared of fucking flying, so getting me in the space shuttle isn't going to happen.
I'd probably think about it just because of the number of SpaceX rockets that have exploded on the platform. But
that too, yeah.
But I would definitely consider it.
Yeah, I would definitely consider it too, if I had any artistic skills.
I mean, how artistic do you really have to be, does it say?
Well, it said at first he was going to limit it to like, artists and dancers and like, people in artistic crafts. And then he said he's going to loosen it to like just people who consider themselves to be artists.
Oh, there you go.
So
I don't draw inside the lines. But.
Right. So if you're like one of those people who like puts a gallon of paint up your anus and just sprays it all over the canvas, and maybe you can apply now.
We're podcast artists.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to come all in your spaceship. You figure astronauts have to busting up those sometimes. They can't just be like...
I did wonder about
that Russian guy who was up there for like a year, like he was busting some nuts up there.
Had to been.
He had to been busting some nuts.
But like, what do you do with the rest of the dudes?
Like,
you
what's
don't want
the
floating
protocol?
around.
Because NASA probably has a protocol, but they won't publish it.
That's what I wonder too. And does it then process it into some cube that you have to eat?
Here's your barf bag. Make sure to tie a knot in the end before you throw it away.
Our next shipment's going to be late, so you're going to have to eat those cum cubes.
Well, they recycle
Mark
your piss.
Wahlberg.
They recycle your piss into drinkable water, so you got to think they recycle your cum into something.
Cum ice cube.
I like to think
there's a lot of nutrition.
I like to think that there's like a chamber where there's like a hole in the wall and you do your business through it, and then it's like an airlock.
Oh, right. So basically you're burying them at sea. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum.
There's a bunch of frozen cum in space.
Goodbye, my gentlemen. World record cum shot. It's gone around the Earth 14 times.
Frozen cum is just orbiting the Earth.
Just kill some dude.
Yeah, it's like flying down that crazy.
We get like a deep impact situation, like meteorites made out of
There's
cum.
like a million pieces like flying at like
That
300
money
times
shot
the speed
just
of
killed
sound.
my cattle.
All right, well, we've got our movie plot.
Cum steroids.
Nobody thought of the dangers.
Well, my last story here is also space related. World's first space hotel could open in 2027. Some time ago, we brought you the story of Spaceport City, the planned floating commercial space station in Japan. But as is usual with these things, someone is already taking things a step further. Orbital Assembly Corporation, a California-based futuristic construction company, is planning the world's first space hotel. According to the firm's ambitious plans, the commercial space station could open as soon as 2027. Titled the Voyager Station, the hotel's Star Trek-ish name promises to boldly take travelers to where no tourist has vacationed before. The planned space station lives up to its science fiction-inspired name, even in its looks. The circular space station resembles a giant wheel. To provide artificial gravity for its guests, Voyager will slowly rotate around itself. Although, if you were going to go there, wouldn't you almost rather there not be gravity and you could just get the floating experience?
Well, like, in that kind of situation, you could probably go to, like, the center of rotation and still be floating. But maybe for certain parts of it, you'd rather have some
stability.
Yeah.
Voyager Station is a rotating space station designed to produce varying levels of artificial gravity by increasing or decreasing the rate of rotation, the project's website reads. If that sounds somewhat familiar, it might be because you've seen something similar in movies. For example, Space Station 5 from 2001, A Space Odyssey, use this exact same technology. Can we finally say the future is here if real life starts imitating sci-fi movies? The Voyager station will consist of multiple concentric wheels. The first one to be built, according to Orbital Assembly, will be inner wheel serving as a docking hub. The first piece of Voyager to be built is an unpressurized ring structure with docking arms and stabilizers designed to capture and lock in place a visiting spacecraft to unload passengers and cargo, the company says. Yeah, I'm not going to go on because this is really long, but somehow I don't think they'll have this going by 2027.
Yes, that sounds pretty optimistic.
And also, the only people that could go there are, the Japanese billionaire types.
Yeah, they'd be multi-million-dollar tickets, I'm sure.
Do you think any astronauts have ever, we talked about, masturbating. Do you think any of them have fucked up there?
I don't think there's any record of it. I mean, I think they've thought about it, but
I mean, if you're floating around and they gotta be wondering, I wonder what it would be like to fuck with no gravity.
Neil Armstrong, hey Buzz, why don't you shut off that?
One small step for man.
Why don't you open up your intake valve?
One giant leap for mankind.
For science.
All right. Well, we're doing okay on time. We're a little over an hour. But any guys got any more topics you wanted to do?
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah.
Man, I apologize because this. It seemed like there was quite a bit of grim stories this week.
It was a little dark.
That's just the way it is, man.
We finished with a lot of cum, so finish strong.
There you go. As long as you finish with space cum, you're good to go. Guys, where can people find you on the Twitter?
I am at a name for this too, and that's the number 2.
At unsolicited SUG.
And you can find me at Zach Jones Live, the ZACHJONESLIVE. Everybody, listening or watching, please, like, subscribe, go ahead and write us a positive review, all that good stuff. But until next week, that'll do it for all of our nonsense poppycock shenanigans. Thank you for, man, I doubled back. Anyway, thank you for tuning in this week. Tune in again next week. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, have a good one,
Take
guys.
care, guys.
Yeah, bye.